Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to my stock channel. We got a little update on RIOT Platforms Inc., a special request. Ticker symbol RIOT, RIOT, $13.50 up on the day. These are going up with the rise of Bitcoin. This is a Bitcoin mining company. I did a series of video on pretty much every one of RIOT's competitors. I believe one of them is doing it right and everyone else is doing it wrong. And here's the pickle is Bitcoin needs to be $60,000 a coin, and power needs to be like $8-9 a month to run one of these little Bitcoin mining computers. If right now it takes more power to produce Bitcoin than it's worth. I don't know if that makes any sense. Apparently, one of these little machines can spit out $10 worth of Bitcoin every month, and it costs you $12 or $13 worth of power to run it. And now that prices are getting higher and power bills are getting higher, now it's costing you $14 to get your $10 worth of Bitcoin. And then on top of that, it fell down to 20,000 from 60,000. So now you're only able to get $3 worth of Bitcoin for your $14 worth of power. It's a very bad business arrangement. A lot of the miners are stuck with a lot of computers. The smartest miner I could find basically created his own power grid and then went and bought another power grid and did it again, and then went and bought another power grid and did it again. If you can make your own power, you're in business. You should see a profitable company, like for instance here's well, look at an up month. Look at that. That was probably right before Bitcoin crashed down to 20,000, I'm guessing. Let's look at their annual statements. It doesn't look like they've ever made money. It looks like they've come close. They finally bought their assets in 2021 and 2022. 213 million and then 259 million. But that number really doesn't mean anything. This was your power bill for the year, $509 million for 2022, and that's all with Bitcoin being priced out at around 20,000. Now it's priced out around, I guess, 50% more than that. So this 300 million in revenue would turn into 450 million in revenue. And if they can run that on the same power bill, and they're only going to lose 50 million for the quarter coming up. But yeah, that's the pickle they're in. They need a windmill. They need a water wheel. They need some hydro. They need to buy solar panels first and plug the machines into them only. Buying power from the power company and not making your own power is the death of these places. This one, if you look at it quarterly, they had something correct happen here in March of 2022. I wonder what it was. 79 million with a net income of 35 million. So I'm wondering where that came from all out of the blue all of a sudden. Like, didn't look like the revenue went up to make that happen. Maybe obviously they either did it on free power or they did it on $80,000 Bitcoin, which it never was. So I don't know. It really depends on where Bitcoin goes. If Bitcoin goes to 80, 90,000, you can just plug these machines into the wall and run as many as you want. But as soon as Bitcoin hits 40, 50,000, you better unplug them, or you're just might as well plug in a broken toaster that just sucks a bunch of electricity all day long. So that's the pickle you're in. Your business model absolutely relies on $60,000 Bitcoin or more, and it also relies on reasonable power bills. And if you can get the free power, like a lot of them have started out with free power, and then eventually, when the price got right, when Bitcoin hit 60,000, they just started plugging them in like crazy and buying a bunch of machines. And then they found out they couldn't do that anymore. So now they're back to they're trying to get back to the original, we own power plant system. But all your investor money, all the IPO money should be going straight into power plants first, and then buy the Bitcoin machines, plug them in. Then you can stay in business forever and make money. You don't have to be reliant on Bitcoin being 60,000. You don't have to be reliant on the energy companies remaining stable. So you can tell which companies are doing it wrong and which ones are doing it right. This huge loss. Let's check out the quarterly balance sheet just to see if that correlates with anything. Not really. That looks just like a true loss. They didn't add any assets. They didn't chop down any liabilities. That's just real money. Gone, gone, gone. Let's hope they bought a power plant with it or something. And they came back and they gave us a nice shrunken version of it. I don't know. I kind of get the feeling these people have a small power plant capacity, maybe some solar fields, maybe a few windmills, but not enough to produce what they want. Why would they plug in for December of 2022? I have no idea. Why would you try to collect $60 million in Bitcoin when you know it's going to cost you $155 million in power? They might, they earn the Bitcoin, they got to convert it into cash, I suppose, immediately at market value. You can't just collect the Bitcoin and hope for it to appreciate one day. Can you? If you can do that, maybe that's the play. Just get as much Bitcoin as possible and wait till it hits 100,000 and then dump out of it and you're a huge winner. But I don't think they're doing that. I think the money needs to go back for future power bills. They have bills to pay. They have overhead. They have an actually operating cost, which is huge. Let's look at it annually. $322 million a year in operating cost and less than that in revenue. So, yeah, that doesn't cover anything. They just straight up lose money. Next quarter, like I said, they are going to do a whole lot more revenue, apparently, if they leave their machines plugged in all month long and suck up this power like they've been doing. But I like this year, 2021. I don't know what it was. I have a feeling Bitcoin was 60,000, and this is what it can turn out to look like really close. Maybe Bitcoin was 50,000 or 45,000. It was in some sweet spot before we got to our massive $5 gasoline last year, before we got to ridiculous electric prices. And back here, it doesn't even look like it. Looks like they were just thinking about doing business. Losing 20 million a year, making 7, making 12, losing 14, losing 58, making 7. Were they even buying assets back then? Not really. Well, yeah. Yeah, that's where they bought the beginnings of their assets. But here they bought something, probably a shit ton of machines to plug in. And that was the goal, plug them in. And they took a whole bunch of money and they bought the machines. They plugged them in, and that's what happened. They lost $509 million. And they knew what they were doing every single day of the week. These guys have a calculator. So they need a power supply. Do your research on this company. If you feel like they got a power supply or some way to plug in for free and get rid of the electric bill, then they're in business. They can do this forever. They're immune to the power bill. They're immune to the Bitcoin price. They are a self-containing, profitable company that you want them to be. As a shareholder, you should beg them to buy a power supply. But it costs about like 10 or 12 bucks, I've heard, to power one of these boxes for a month if you're paying the power company. So I don't really know how many your solar panels can handle. You might have to spend $30,000 on solar panels to run, 100 boxes, and then go do that again and again and again and again to try to make your revenue. Because each box is only going to make you, well, at these prices, like $4 a month in Bitcoin. It's such a minuscule amount. But this is a company that took it to a next level. They were completely counting on Bitcoin's $60,000 price. 50,000, somewhere around there. And clearly they were counting on the low power bills. A couple of big mistakes they need to recover from. Let's see if they have any money left. The stock price says $13.50, which tells me they probably have some money left. And they have $230 million. Yeah, that's probably the majority of their market cap. Let me see. $230 million market cap. No, 2.25 billion. Wow. What the hell? See, that doesn't make any sense to me. Obviously, the company's worth a lot more than that. Maybe they do have their own power supply. Let's see where they were a month ago. Yeah, this stock was at half where it is now. So the company was worth 1.1 billion last month, and now that Bitcoin's gone up to 30,000, now the company is worth double. I don't know. I'd say that the chances of profitability aren't there until Bitcoin gets to 40 or 50 or $60,000. However, this stock is going to be tied into every Bitcoin ETF, every Bitcoin mutual fund type product where people can invest in large groups and swaths of the Bitcoin industry. There's going to be a lot of buying just based on that. People getting into Bitcoin without buying it directly, buying into funds and such. And then there's people that'll be buying this thing directly, of course, too, along with its competitors. There's about a dozen of them, and about 11 of them are completely doing it wrong. You can tell they have no power source whatsoever. They've been throwing up the $600 million loss every single quarter for, like 3 quarters in a row since the price changed. But if people are if we're gonna have a banking crisis or a super heavy gold spike, then yeah, this company is gonna recover for a little bit, and then when that fades, expect it to fade, unless they can fix their power debacle. So until they make their own Hoover Dam, I got to be a bear on this one. But as long as the dollar's screwed up, I don't know. Might as well just play something else. I don't know, but how many things are going to double their money like this just did in a month? So I don't know. If you're a gambler, you probably like this one. I don't like it so much. I can't see them being profitable without the Bitcoin and the stars aligning with the power bill prices. So for that reason, I'm out, but I would have lost double my money last month, so don't listen to me. Yeah, the 5-year chart on this thing's been up to, this is when Bitcoin was at 60,000. The thing was at $60, $50, 50, 60 bucks, $50, $30. It's been a long fall, coming all the way down to $3.68. Wow. Okay. So just this year, shit, it's quadrupled. It's quadrupled on a 50% increase in the value of Bitcoin. It's not there yet, folks, but will it be there when Bitcoin hits 60? Yes, they'll probably be able to plug it in and start making money again, in theory. But their power bill's higher, a lot higher now than it used to be. So it's probably going to need to go up to 70,000 per Bitcoin to equal these levels again. You want to see a $50 stock here, we're going to need $70,000 Bitcoin. And it's only going to last as long as $70,000 Bitcoin. And right there you can see how long $60,000 Bitcoin lasted. It was just a very small fraction of the life of this company. So depends on how you feel about Bitcoin. That's all that's all that matters. If you think it's going to 200,000 and you're real stubborn about it, then yeah, hell yeah, you want to buy this company now and you want to get in on it. It looks like they have enough money to make it through. Maybe let's see how many of these quarters they can get through. Well, I don't know. They can't go plugging them in. They just need to unplug their machines until the math works. This just looks like nuts. Like, why would you plug them in? If you know they're just draining $8 a month each, why plug them in? Should have just accepted the fact. You should have taken this $600 million and bought some power plants with it, or some solar panels, or done something useful. I hope to God that's what they did. and I hope that's what they're showing in their future expectations. So definitely listen to the earnings report. You're going to hear all about it. But yeah, Riot platforms, everybody. Unless you're a bull on Bitcoins, steer clear. But yeah, if you're a believer in Bitcoin, this one's for you. Up quadruple just this year. Wow. If they got the power thing solved, they're solved forever. Just remember that. Have a wonderful night, and hope you enjoyed the video. Please like it and subscribe to my channel. I'd much appreciate it. Thank you very much.